So then you get that information outside of the game, unfortunately. All right, Shadow Stalkers, 325. Same group, right? Oh, dang it. That's not a... We lost a lot of people there. I don't have the lore either. Okay. Bruner. We gotta... Oh, now we could bring in Carlon. We want it, I guess. Avondra, Goldfine, yes. Or tanking, excuse me. I need tanks. I need tanks. Can you give me a tank? No. Get out of my party. Get out of my party then. Walnut. Time to crack that nut. I guess he's got to come back in the party because he's going to tank. What happens? You don't give me a tank, I make you the tank. I guess Carlock's a tank. We'll just make Carlock a tank. Yeah, it's got to be... Wait, was there somebody other than Dungeon Master available? Okay. Yeah, the speed function's going first. No, that's about it. That's all we got. We're gonna go ahead and burn an hour. Probably didn't need that much, but I'd rather err on the side of overpowering this one because we have so few speed champions. Yeah, I don't do DM fishing. Basically, where you just restart the adventure over and over and over and try to get the best dungeon master possibly. Screw that. Screw that. It's not gonna matter. I'm never gonna get to the point where she's gonna need that. Yeah, I'll just roll DM to 100, see who he brings in. If it's any good, sure, you can stay. If it's not, you're probably going home. Occasionally, I want him for shields like we did earlier. Party survivability. That's only if I got nobody else. Okay. No, we don't need it. Don't need that there. What'd we get? Completing variants, I'm guessing in Avernus. Yeah. Got some more corrupted gems. How many do I have now? 4,000. Oh. We get 2 gold chests. Take it. Don't care about the epic, it's a dupe. That's how far we are. No speed potions. No speed potions. There it is. Valentine's gold find is Life of Leisure. I couldn't remember. I'm going to talk about Dungeon Masters Spotlight doing a whole seat. Yes. But nowadays, when they rework a champion, it's when they show up in an event. So until they give us until they rework Dungeon Master in an event, then you gotta wait. Never used him after he gave me the wrong champion 10 times in a row. Well, then he's never going to give you the right champion. Like, I mean, you just pull him in, you try to see, and if he doesn't give you what you want, you pull him out and go get somebody else. But if you don't try, you'll never know, right? And there are times where you're only going to have like Dungeon Master and the Dark Urge available because they can go everywhere. And so whoever they bring in is better than not having anybody else at all. So. But I tried once right after Dungeon Master came out. We were at a point in the game where there were some variants that I knew I needed. I knew where I was. I knew how much power I needed, and I knew I needed a very specific champion to beat it. And on one of those, I tried to fish, and I think I spent a half an hour restarting, trying to get the right champion until I finally got them. And I was like, I'm never doing that again. Never ever doing that again. I don't really do that whole reroll thing. You can fish with Shaka too for his thing. I don't do that either. Don't care. You're just trying to get it to land on the right spot for Tatiana? Yeah. I just use her spec to get it to the right place. Usually works for me. You can fish with Voronika too, I guess. Again, I wouldn't do that either. I wouldn't do that either personally, but you play your account however you want to play it. What are we up to? 13,000 gems. Remember, we're on our way to 50,000. Really want 50,000 so I can get a speed feat for Shandy. Kind of have to care if you want to complete all the content. No, I know. No, I know. I just have to wait. I just have to be patient. Eventually, they'll either add more champions in the game or add more power or something, and I'll be able to complete it without having to sit there and mess with all that stuff that I don't want to do. I've been playing this game for 6.5 years. If I got to wait a year to be able to finish a single variant, I'll wait. I'm in no hurry. The Elminster variant for Tale of Two Cities. You mean Tale of Two Champions? Only lets you have 2 champs on the field. Yes, that's how that works. 825 area completion. Yeah. That's, you either beat that with favor or you use debuffers. Click debuffing. You need a combination of both. But that's where a Tale of Two Champions is where click debuffing really got traffic and started to become a thing in the game, because that was how you had to beat that variant. You don't do it with the power of 2 champions. You do it with their debuff power. You start off with a pair of gold find champions and you go as far as you can with that, just upgrading click damage. And then you switch to a gold find champion and a debuffing tank, maybe, so that just in case, or just a debuffer, go as far as you can with that, and then you switch to a pair of debuffers. Hopefully one's a tank. And then you click debuff your way through to the end. But you got to have a good chunk of favor to get to 825. But that's how you do all of those, even the base version. We're going to do that on this stream. I've already said it's on my to-do list. Is we're going to make a guide for Tale of Two Champions so that people understand how to do that. And it'll have a VOD and a written portion. What was my opinion of the content of Vital Insights this week? I didn't think it was super spoilery. I thought it was more just new player introduction to the concepts of Vital Champions, which is fine. I just thought that was maybe a waste of Chris's time. Because here's the spoilers we got. Event 2.0, they're going to start theming each month, it seems like. So this month was Wormslayer. Next month is Spies and Detectives. They're going to do that for the next 3 to 4 months. And then along the way, they'll see if people liked that or not. But because they plan out months in advance, then we're getting 3 to 4 months of it. In July with Founders Day, we're not getting a new champion and a rework champion. We're getting 2 new champions, 2 brand new champions to the game coming in July. No reworks in July. They aren't champions we already know. We found out our next Evergreen officially is going to be Ren, and that's going to be, you'll unlock them in Turn of Fortune's Wheel. We don't have any more information, official information about that. We found out that the champion that's coming in October also comes with a spooky theme, and Chris was excited about all of that. That was it. That was all the spoilers we got out of that stream. So I didn't think it was a very spoiler-filled stream compared to some in the past. Gore's like Strahd. What's another millennia? Look, it's just a drop of time. What can I say? Look, when you're a dwarf, you can wait a few years. Can't get the idle code redeemer to work with the Cena game launcher. I don't use the code redeemer, so I don't know what to tell you there. I go to the Discord channel and I manually add all the codes. So I would say if you're a brand new player, if you haven't spent any cash on the game yet, go download the game and start over on Epic Game Store, because you're going to get a $100 bundle for free, and the code redeemer might work there. The Epic Game Store is the best place to start the game right now. Bet the release champions that'll get it done. I don't think so. I think people will eventually be able to, like, they'll have enough power on 2 champions that they'll do it at some point. But that's not really what that variant was designed for. It's coming last. Evergreen wins Ren. We don't know. We don't know wins Ren. We just know that they're the next champion. So it'll come with the earliest. I can tell you the earliest it would arrive is the next content update. But I don't think we're like, so that would be the 26th of this month would be the earliest content drop. Otherwise, it would be either the 24th or 31st of July. Remember, it's going to be the last Wednesday or Wednesdays of the month, depending on how many Wednesdays there are on the month. If there's 4 Wednesdays, then the last Wednesday of the month is the content drop. If there's 5, then it's the last 2 Wednesdays. I think that should be how it works. I am really crossing my fingers, Lurking Rider, that Spies and Detectives has an Ashara Bond skin, like Bond, Ashara Bond. I want her dressed up as a spy, and I want that as the flavor text. I've been wanting that forever. Finished watching Rings of Power. The dwarves were the best part for me. Same. I haven't read all the books or anything, so I watched Rings of Power and I was like, I like the dwarves. More dwarves, please. Give me more dwarf content. The last Wednesday of the month. Oh, I didn't even make that pun, and it's nice. I'd be surprised if it's this month. I would be too, but I was also surprised that we got Champion Search prioritized over the alchemy system. So what are you gonna do? Look, if there were dwarf pirates in Warhammer 40k, or Warhammer Fantasy Battles, excuse me. I liked them. I like the dwarf pirates there. I could never quite play as a dwarf pirate. I could play as a slayer, and try to make them look piratey, but it wasn't quite the same. Yeah, I would love to get into a campaign where I could play as a dwarven pirate. I think that would be great. That's what I loved about wasn't it what was Larian's Divinity Original Sin 2? You could be a dwarven pirate. Like you could dress like your character could be a dwarf and there was the pirate gear. Loved that. Ren is W-R-E-N, to be clear. W-R-E-N. Unlike Ren and Stimpy, which is what I always think. Yesterday we played the log song on this channel because, you know, Ren and Stimpy. Slayer government meet Gotrek. I mean, I think they had Gotrek and Felix in Altdorf. So would have at some point, yeah. Because I got all my dwarves. I had all the dwarf classes, all named Garwar, all up to max level. So what would be better than dwarves? That'll chance to get a Star Wars game and a Wookiee champion emerged. Yeah. Then I would be pushing for all Wookiee formations. Ren and Stwimpy. Oh god. Thoughts on area cap increase? I think conservatively 2501 is probably a safe bet. I would like to see 3001. I think the people that are already at 2001 could probably easily hit 2500. The majority of people could probably still creep to 2501 fairly soon. Like, you know, with the legendary, I would like to see with the legendary power they put in the game, I'd like to see them put it to 3001 just to see if people could get there. I don't know where that puts us for health, but I feel like that's a more realistic long-term goal for people. I would love, I hope it's hard. I hope it's difficult and not just the last 50 areas difficult that we have now, where when you get to 1951 and beyond, everything's hitting like a freaking truck. I don't like that. I just want to see them have lots of health. So yeah, I don't know. You have to find, yeah, there's probably a site out there that can project it up to 3,000. Yeah, Lurking Rider hit at 2,800 by all offline progress, but you know, we don't know what the, if you don't, unless you remember what the health was. Let me see if there's something I can do here. This one only goes to 1951. It won't let me predict beyond that. And that's what, E600? So let me look at 1851. Okay, so E585 versus... Well, let me do this the easy way. I don't have to do this math. 1901 is E601. 1801 is E570. So 30, E30 per 100 areas. So it would go up E300 maybe. So it would be like E901 in that neighborhood, I think is a rough estimate. So 3,000 would be like in the early E900s. And that's for a regular campaign. Remember, that's for like Sword Coast. Turn of Fortune's Wheel, the max is like E7 something. So would be over E1000. Oh, estimated. So yeah. So what's or it's not Turn of Fortune's Wheel, excuse me. Vecna Even Ruin. Yes, that's what I meant to say. Vecna would be over 1,000. So I don't know what people are putting out with their. I know we've got people in the 700s. I know, like Lurking Rider, didn't you hit like E700 or something? So I think to give people some room, you take it all the way to 3001. I think there's probably people in the E800s and E900s already, so you'd want to go to 3001 to get. Oh, Artemis players are topping E1000. Well, screw them. You know what I think about Artemis. So then then they'll be able to go all the way to 3001. That's fine. But I think you'd be giving the vast majority of players a lot of ceiling to climb to reach for the top. You never make everybody happy, but those people that are already hitting E1000, they get to say they got there right away, and they get to they get a lot more favor than they would have. But E700 with Will. Yeah, so I think that would give you room to keep, trying to push further. So in my mind, it's like you might as well just raise it 1,000, just because that would give more players more of a challenge than currently. Sure, some people are going to be like, couldn't you have gone higher? But very small number. Relatively speaking, a very small number. I think 2,500 is just... It's not enough. It's not really enough. And ideally, you want to do it once, and you don't want people asking a year from now for you to do it again. I mean, there'll also be, again, those people right at the top will ask, but you want more people having to take a couple of years maybe to get to that point. Ledieth, MCF Ledieth would know who the solid DPS are for a gearless account. Yeah, they've done some pretty deep. There's a couple of people in the community that have done pretty deep ones, but I know Ledieth right away would probably know how to answer that question. There might be a couple other people in here that also have done that. I'm going to stick with Carlock. Ledieth, what's the top DPS gearless? Top DPS champions for a gearless run. Still feel like Carlock's going to be big because of the way she scales with her rage stacks, but Carlock and Will. And I don't understand why Will is a DPS, but I guess it's because he can just buff himself even though he's not a DPS champion. Is that what's going on? Better tooltip here. And I think it's because he can buff himself with Folk Hero. Target himself with 4 stacks pretty easily. Well, Will's ult just makes him do bud damage. That makes him a secondary DPS. It doesn't make him a primary DPS. There's a difference. Yeah, he's definitely part of the super secret DPS club. E390 with Carlock? Nice. I'm almost catching up. My geared account's almost catching up to your gearless. Broke E300. So secret of a DPS, we all know about it, yes. E390 gearless. Your Modron cores and perks and blessings, right? Like, he's not doing Vow of Poverty. He's just doing gearless. So, You rely on like multiplicatively stack, lots of multiplicatively stacking supports. Yeah, there you go. Almost all Zerial variants. That's a big deal for her. We don't have that many done yet. We have some, but we don't have that many. I'm getting 1,000% more damage because we finished 7. But yeah, that gets big. That gets real big. But yeah, I mean, perks and blessings can add up a lot. Modron Core can be a lot. Oh, oh my god, is that what we have to call a pure mop formation? Is Hong Kong Fooey? Hong Kong Fooey is if every single champion in your formation mobs. I'm calling it now. Calling it now. I wonder how many people would understand that reference. Wow, Vi's Beast. Vi's Beast. I knew she had a solid buff. I didn't realize it was that big. Do they mop without items? With their feats, yes. See, because a lot of those mathematically overpowered abilities have feats that apply to the pre-stack modifier, so they will still mop. Also, some mops create their own stacks, right? But yeah, some have upgrades. Some their upgrades will apply to the pre-stack modifier. Some they'll have feats. Those still are mop abilities. Outside of that, yes, then they're just pure. Then they would just be like a multiplicatively stacking ability. But the feats and any upgrades that apply pre-stack can still make them mop on a gearless. I guess I've got to do this. Look, folks, this was a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Just so you understand what we're talking about. I got to give references in chat. Got to give references in chat. Yeah. Hong Kong Fooey is the secret identity of Penry Pooch, who is a janitor. Who works as a janitor at a police station. With a mop and a bucket most of the time when he shows up in that situation. Although I'm looking at one where he's got a vacuum cleaner. I don't even remember that. That was a weird. Oh no, is that a? No, that's a buffer. That's supposed to be a floor buffer. That is not big enough. That is not big enough for a floor buffer. Although here's a picture of him with a broom. Now I'm like, is there a picture of him with a mop? There's gotta be. There's gotta be, right? Oh yeah. Good. All right. No worries, Lucky Rider. Yeah, Pranali, a masked. The man in black skin for Will would be interesting if he was a DPS. If he was a DPS champion. The dog in the orange robe. Yes, that is Hong Kong Fooey. Yes. All right, Lediath. They haven't done feats that change their race. I mean, their class. The only person that got to change their class was Minsk with Dynahair. And I feel like if that was going to be a thing, it would have been with Duke Ravengard making Will a DPS. Would have been neat, right? If Duke Ravengard's right spec made him DPS and added one to Folk Hero, game over. Game over. Yeah, so I don't think we'll see. I don't think we would see something like that. It's a little too strong. Like people keep asking for the human Dark Urge feat, and I feel like it might be too strong. I don't know that you should give a champion that can go everywhere, which is his strength, that kind of extra support. I don't know that that's necessary. People want it because they just want to be OP. They want to just invest in the Dark Urge and have the Dark Urge be the new Artemis. And yes, I know Will would get restricted out in some places, but still, they just want the Dark Urge to be the new Artemis. And I don't really want the devs to create another square hole for the game. Artemis is already the square hole. And if we do, and I've even got a command for that now. Got Artemis questions? How do I use Artemis? Exclamation point Artemis in chat. You'd rather have a Catty Bree human feat? She is human? Catty Bree is human. I mean, I make her a dwarf, but that's probably what's throwing people off, is whenever she's in my game, she's a dwarf. She has a feat for a dwarf, appropriately, because she's the adopted daughter of Bruno Battlehammer. Got a melee feat for her. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna change basic attacks like that. That would put her in with Duke Ravengard. And while I would love that, I still think that's maybe a little too much. No worries, Liliantra. I say the completely wrong thing on this stream all the time, so I ain't gonna get mad at other people for mixing something up. Catty Bree should have a feat with a skin that adds Wizard to her class and make her a magic attacker. I would say, like, you could add magic. That would be more appropriate to her, because she was ranged canonically early on, and then she got injured, spoilers, and learned magic under Illustrial Silverhand, one of the 7 sisters, the 7 daughters of Maestra. So a feat with a skin that makes her a wizard makes total sense. And adds magic to her attack. Yeah, absolutely. I just don't think there's I don't know that canonically there's a reason to give her melee, because she was always the person with Tolmaril, the bow, and her endless quiver of arrows. Or maybe Tolmaril, just you pull Tolmaril back and it was, I can't remember if it was a quiver or if it was, yeah. Yeah, and then became a mage. The hell did I just watch? You watched an explanation of what Artemis is in this game. That video is an explanation of game design, using very simple terms, but these are game design. I mean, all of that can be extrapolated up into much more complex game design. When you have one solution that works for every problem in your game, that's what happens. That game, Artemis is the square hole, because in that example, everything fits in the square hole. The square hole is the answer to everything. That's bad game design, right? And Artemis is that for Idle Champions. Tier 6 trials to 7k DPS kill it, or do we need to do more runs on day 2? So here's how you figure it out. You take You take the number of hours that you have left, or the number of days you have left, multiply that by 24 to get the number of hours. Add however many hours, extra hours are left. Then multiply that number by 60 to get the number of minutes left. Add any minutes that are excess left over in the thing. Multiply that by 60 to get the number of seconds left. Multiply that by your damage per second at the bottom right. And that will tell you how much damage you would do before your trials run ends. And if that is more than her health, you're done. You got to do the math. I just asked Google to translate my time to seconds. I get it. It's super fast for me now on a calculator. I've done it so many times. But yeah, one of the things I would love for them to do when they rework trials is on the screen that shows how much health left, to also show like a progress bar based off your current group damage, your current party DPS. How far would you get with the current amount, not counting any future days you add, so that you know when you finally get it to completion. That would be neat, I think. Six days and 15 hours, that's a lot of time. All right, hold on here, I'll do it. Fine. Mainly because we're waiting here. So 6 days would be 6 days times 24, which gives me 144. And then I would add 15 hours. So 159 hours times 60 gives me 9,540 minutes times 60. That's a little over 500,000 seconds times 7,000 DPS. 4 billion damage is what you'd be doing. So 4 billion. I forget what tier you said you were on. Tier 6. Got a guide for that. Billion is what? EO9? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4.3 EO9. So if you've already done the 0.3, then you're fine. But if you haven't, then you might need to do one more day. Either way, it feels like if you've got 6 days left, do one more day and you're going to be fine. But yeah, what I have here for tier 6 is 2, 3, 4, yeah. That your average daily party DPS would need to be 7,110. You don't necessarily have to get that on day 1, but if you do, then you're golden. So you would actually need 7,110 on day 1. I need to, hold on, I gotta make a note. I gotta make some adjustments to that trials guide at some point, but it's just a minor thing, just for consistency. MOP, mathematically overwhelmed player. Or you just push past areas 600. I mean, that isn't necessarily going to do it, but if it does, fine. It's just easier to do a day tomorrow, I feel like. It's way more damage that gets added. Like, what you can get with a day, like one more day quest, is way more than you could push for. Way more. So... Well, but it's not about your area goal. It's about your bud. How much can you raise your bud? So usually day one, I push as far as I can, basically, just as far as I know that I'm getting a consistently high bud and it's not going to go up anymore. And then from that point on, I just go to my area goal on the subsequent days. Oh, Diana scavenged an Electrum. Nice. We'll save that for next week. Next week's champions. Oh, geez. Oh, my God. We use a soft capped before area 300. I love having a lot of favor. I love it so much. I was not expecting that. It's that E55, occasionally E56 gold find. Just lighten it up. Look at that. Level 6 fast core, nice. Oh, I need to try to repipe my fast core, folks. I forgot. How much time do we have? 325. We'll do it on the next run. Do it on the next run. Take a look at the fast core. Ooh, we're almost got the ultimates we need over here. I can't believe we did not get. That makes no sense to me. That is not tracking, right? Oh, I should check. What is my currency levels? What? No. I need 1.25 or higher to buy a chest. You could buy one for Strahd. Because we don't want to fall below 7,500. I think I'm at 6 fast, 6 fast, 6 modest. The fast core caught up to the modest core, and they've been kind of going neck and neck. Oddly, I don't know why it's neck and neck. The fast core should level up faster. We'll end up passing it, I think, but yeah. Really should try to use Nordum for this stuff instead of Diana. That would help me level up my fast core faster, but Diana's so fast. She's just so much better. Which means I should be using Nordum in a background party, but then that one would outpace my active party, and we can't have that. It wouldn't outpace it, but still. Alright, we're on Shadow Stalkers. So we're 5 in. This is the 5th variant out of 14 that we need. Put Nordum on the new magic one to get to level 3. Oh, that's smart. That's what I haven't done yet. I'm a magic core. Here's the magic core. Here's a level 1 magic core, folks. All this stuff's locked. All you got available is this. And you got to pipe it to level 3 to unlock the automation. I really should probably do that. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to wait on that core any longer. Yeah, that's their thing. You have the tier 1 event boon for Nordum. It's a 200% buff for his toolbox. But I don't have the. Oh, I do have that. Oh, God. Still got it for 2 more weeks. Oh, no. And what we should really be doing is I should really be using the magic core for a while to push with, but oh, that's so much. I don't think it's worth it right now on this account. I really don't think it is. It might be worth it putting Nordum in over here though. Let's see what would Nordum WWMD. What would Nordum do? What do we got? 1.258. So I'd be getting 2.25 XP off every area. Yeah, so that's twice as fast. That actually is better. Oh god dang it. God dang it. God dang it, you guys. I don't have a feat for that, do I? It'd be 12.5. I could get it. Oh, I'm not going to get it. Yeah, if it was a strong core, I would level it up for Karlach for sure.